Today in Europe, there's approximately 2 billion hours of television watched every day. We're consuming it just as much as ever. But the panel and myself today are asking the question, what's the future of television? What's tomorrow? We'll be looking at some of the disruptors that the digital technologies have brought to this industry. We'll be looking at the causes, and we'll also be thinking about some of the things going forward for the future, of course. We have a wonderful panel, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to them now. Next to me, we have Claire Deguerry, who is a partner at Deloitte France. She's a specialist in media, and she's also a co-founder of Voxfemina, which is an organization that specializes in making sure that female experts have a voice in the media. I hope I've got that right. Welcome. Next to Claire, we have Elisabeth Durand, who is the broadcast managing director at TF1. And in her role, she's responsible for the scheduling and branding of the 4 free-to-view paid channels. Sorry, beg your pardon. Frederic Bonnard, who is the VP of New Media at France Médias Monde. New media being all of the digital offers that they have to provide. France Médias Monde, for those of you in the audience may not know, is RFI, a radio station, France 24, which is France 24, which is a television station, and also MCD, which is also radio. Monte Carlo do Alia, which is an Arabic radio. Arabic radio, thank you. And Alba Gautier joins us. She is the Senior Movie and TV Channel Manager at Dailymotion.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome. So let's take a look at some of the disruptors that have affected the industry over the last couple of years, and starting maybe with the traditional, let's say more traditional media. So Frederic from France 24 and Elisabeth. Frederic, would you like to start off and tell us about some of the most important, significant disruptors in the industry that you've had?
So obviously, you know, one of the most important impact was the one of the internet. And in the TV industry, even more than the internet, it's actually the fact that the video has become a reality. A reality everywhere in the world, because here, you know, we tend to focus on some developed countries like France and look at video over the web as being something obvious. Of course, it's not that obvious everywhere in the world, but it's coming. And so it has a very strong impact on the TV industry, because if you look at the internet, the way it was done at the origin, it was text and pictures. So actually all the print press media moved very quickly onto that new medium. Was pretty easy. However, for the TV industry as well as for the radio industry, it was much more difficult, you know, to have high quality sound or high quality video on the internet. But this is becoming a reality. So what you will see actually now is all those TV media going very strong, you know, on the internet. So the thing that happened also is that because the video is becoming a reality, you see a lot of different platforms. In the past, TV was just one channel, you know, so you broadcast. You have just one content that you broadcast on TV screens. Today what happens is that when you do a content, that same content is going to be used on the TV, of course, it's going to be on the computer, it's going to be on a mobile, and when it's on a mobile or computer, it's going to be on YouTube, on Dailymotion, on Snapchat, on Twitter, on Facebook, and you know, so on, and I can't even tell you what it will be tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. So that has a very strong impact on the way you produce content, because now you are in a hyper distribution model where, you know, you have to think when you produce content about all those different platforms. And one of the consequences of that is that the mobile is becoming the #1 of those platforms, and it's no longer the TV. You know, the TV, there was a dream at one point that the TV will be the centerpiece of the home, where, you know, you will get all the interactivity, you will get all the content, all the services. It's not going to happen, you know. So that dream is over. Now we are moving to another screen, I will say, which is the mobile, and that mobile has a lot of impact. And I will maybe stop here. And especially for the younger generation, you know, which is another big change that has happened recently, is that we are losing the people, you know, from the age of 18 to, let's say, 30. Those people specifically for the news, they don't watch news on TV anymore. They watch news on a mobile, on an alert, you know, on your mobile or on Twitter. So, for me, those are some of the big changes.
Well, I would have to say I totally disagree because I trust and I'm quite sure that the main TV screen has a nice future in front of him as long as you have great content. And what I think about the disruptions, it created new opportunities for TV content to be watched by new audience, different audience, younger audience that wasn't watching TV anymore. And now they can watch TV on a tablet, on a computer, on their smartphones. And the big issue that we have is being innovative as a TV broadcaster, bring this content that is événementiel. We need to bring back the audience on the live TV, and we need to turn all these disruptions issues on as opportunities for the future.
Thank you. Now, Alba, we've heard from some of the more traditional medias about the disruptions that they have felt. Dailymotion, it's been around for 10 years now. It's a video sharing platform, can be considered one of the disruptors. But I imagine you've faced some disruptions in your short lifetime also. Can you tell us about those?
Of course. So yes, we may be one of the disruptors. And what we observe is that we have moved from a passive viewer to a proactive user. Technology and over-the-top streaming services has completely redefined or at least transformed the user experience when it comes to watching videos. And basically it has empowered the user who can now decide when they want to watch a video, where they want to watch a video, content. They can interact with other users online. They can, very importantly also, they can create and distribute their own content online. And we've seen a great generation of new creators emerge on our platform and on other video platforms. So basically, for me, the biggest disruptor is that, again, we've shifted from a passive viewer to a proactive user. But I do agree that if technology is a disruptor, it's also the next opportunity for content creation.
Thank you. So we've heard from the industry about some of the disruptions and the transformations they've been through. Claire, I know that Deloitte do a number of media studies, and you've looked into the impacts of these disruptions and technology on the television industry. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, well, as Frederic said, mobile is already the #1 screen, and our prediction shows that in 2020, 90% of the world population above 6 years old will have a mobile. So there's a lot of future for that medium. What we found also is that hours of live television are decreasing. Thank you. Are decreasing every year, and for the streaming, and already 60% of the hours watched on television by the Y generation are on streaming, and it's really increasing. But despite this tendency, we still find that the consumers won't watch TV, but they want to watch, as we all said, when they want and as they want and whatever they want. And the other trend that we see is that people are also multitasking while they are watching television. We have around 90% of US consumers watching TV who are multitasking while they are watching TV, whether that's social networking or emailing or whatever. And only 25% is this multitasking is related to the program they are watching. So that shows from a business model standpoint that advertisement has a problem, because the 30 seconds advertisement on TV is no longer effective, and advertisers will have to reinvent their way of reaching their audience. People, as they want to watch whatever they decide, we have seen also a great increase in subscription video on demand. And this industry has increased at about 25% in Europe in the recent years. It has reached around 800 million euros already, which is important but very small compared to pay TV, because it accounts only for 1.5% of pay TV. And this increase is still going to last for many years, and our predictions shows that in 2018, which is really close, it will have doubled in Europe, and the same in worldwide. Worldwide, we are at around 6 billion, and we will reach almost 14. What's really important is that SVOD is not cannibalizing the pay TV market. So it's really complement to pay TV. We have found in a study that we made in the UK in 2014 that in the UK there are two main SVOD providers, and they account for about 90% of the market. And we have found out that 2/3 of Netflix and 3/4 of Amazon Prime, we are the two providers, all their clients have already also subscribed to pay TV. So it's really a complement to pay TV. So it's, as we all said also, we are in a world where content is increasing, offer is increasing, and it's not, the whole offer is increasing, and the consumption is increasing also. One last thing I want to say, it's 50 million of homes worldwide are going to subscribe to pay TV in the next months.
50 million, just to make sure we heard that correctly, 50 million in the next month.
Month, yes.
That's worldwide. That's quite staggering. So it's clear that the data is demonstrating how we are watching television, or how we're viewing has changed, and I think will change. Some of the future numbers you gave us there are quite staggering. But it's not just how we're watching that's changed. What we're watching has evolved, and in fact there's been a continuous cycle of innovation through the content over the past years, both in terms of news, but also the entertainment, the magazine programs and the movies that we watch also. Let's think a little bit about that now. And Elisabeth, I know just before this we were talking about sport and how technology has changed what TF1 is doing for sport. Can you maybe tell us about that?
Yes, because of these new technologies and the fact that there are so many ways of watching TV, if we want to bring people back to TV, we need to be innovative, and that's what we do on our programming, and especially on sports. Right now we are broadcasting the Rugby World Cup on TF1, and they imagined something that's really immersive, because while you watch the match on the main screen, you can have on your tablet the camera that is wearing the referee on the field. So it's like, if you want to hear what is telling the players on the field, if you want to be part of melee, I don't know how you say melee in English.
Rugby scrum, maybe?
Okay, rugby scrum. So it's a way of enriching the programming, and I think that's the way that TV should go, because it allows you to keep this audience that would maybe go elsewhere to watch something else. Also, we work with Warner Brothers in the US, and we talk a lot about that, because right now you can watch your series on the replay whenever you want, and on the screen that you want. So they are working on serialized dramas, and they're working with writers, so that in the way they write the different episodes, they will be on the plot, some things that they will work with the social networks, and you you will have the buzz on the social networks, and it brings back the audience on that special episodes, and you are dying to know what's going to happen. So we now are trying to work to turn out the social networks on bringing back the audience on the live episode that we will broadcast. So I think it's plenty of opportunities for TV broadcasters. So we just have to be creative, innovative, and know very well what the technology allows us to do.
Thank you. I think also one of the things that I've read is how the fact that we're able to watch now, as we say, anytime, any place, anywhere, means also that we can effectively binge watch some of these series as well. So we're not just being hooked in by the social media interactions, but also the fact that the writers can write much more complex storylines and scripts, because we don't have to wait a week for the next exciting episode. We can actually watch it straight after the one we've just finished. Alba, Dailymotion is more sort of focused on short form, as opposed to maybe those longer form or the live sports. How has content evolution changed for you and Dailymotion over the last couple of years?
So basically, I think what we can say is that it's not really that we are interested in a given kind of content. It's more that we are more closer to the way people behave online. Basically, what we know is that people are snacking information, videos, etc. They are extremely solicited by numerous information online, and so what we see is that what perform better online is very short, hyper-dynamic formats. I'm definitely not an expert in the production of TV content, and I'm not saying that it will influence the production of TV content, but we were discussing this. It's basically to the format to which the kids are exposed today, so it might influence the content that we will be producing for them in a few years. So yes, the first trend that we can observe is short, very dynamic videos. The second thing that we observe, which is very interesting, is that people are happy to learn and understand about anything that interests them. Basically, what we observe in infotainment is trickling down to other verticals. So whether in sport, in cinema, in lifestyle, in politics, in music, we see videos explaining things in a didactic way perform greatly. So basically, those videos are teaching you in 3 minutes, or maybe it's informing you in 3 minutes about the political crisis, about the top 5 best rugby player. It's a way of learning, and people want to be able to learn about stuff quickly, easily, not in an academic way, and they want to be entertained. So, for instance, we were talking about Le Monde, this French newspaper, who is doing a lot of, and again I forgot the word, Frederic, motion design, thank you. To illustrate what they write about, and they do a lot about politics, so they're going to create video to help you understand what's happening in the Middle East in 3 minutes, for instance, or right before the launch of House of Cards or Game of Thrones, they're going to give you in 3 minutes anything that has happened before the launch of the new season, sorry. So, sorry, to wrap up, 2 trends that we observe: very short dynamic format and short video that allows you to learn about something very quickly while being entertained at the same time.
Thank you. So we've talked a lot about the entertainment side of things. Frederic, let's come back to you and talk about news and information. That's a core of what France Médias Monde does. Can you tell us about that for content generation?
On that subject, I will disagree with you. It's my turn to disagree on the fact that you said that the way we produce content has changed. Actually, in the news industry, it hasn't changed that much in the past years. The past years we've been focusing on which devices, which platforms, we should be producing our content to, but we haven't been thinking so much on how to produce that content to optimize it for those particular platforms. But this is a real issue for us because, the more platforms you have, if you're on Snapchat, on Twitter, or on your TV screen, or on a mobile, your content that you produce will have to be different. So what's going on today is that we do what we call repurposing of content. So we take something we produce first for TV, and then we take it and we push it on the other platforms. The problem is that it's not the way people consume that content on those platforms. So what you need to do is to decide, okay, if I produce a content, where do I push it first? And there is an issue of resources. How do you do when you're a traditional media like us, and you've been used to produce content from one particular platform? Now you have that choice that you have to make, and you have to, set priorities. So we've been working a lot on those subjects, and the way, for instance, you're right. What we've been trying to do, we've took a show we have which is pretty popular on TV, on France 24, called The Observers, or Les Observateurs. And what we did is that we produced that content for YouTube first. And the impact is pretty simple, that you have more powerful pictures first, so that you grab the attention of the audience. You don't have what we call plateau. I don't know how you say that in English, actually. Sets, you have overlay, text overlay. You have keywords which are being highlighted. This is shorter. And what we've tried to do is to take that same content produced for YouTube and to push it on TV, okay, as such. So we do it the other way. We are just trying this, and it's been actually working pretty well. And we have millions of viewers on those contents on the other platforms. Like Alban said, one of the good way also to create new content is what we call motion design, that you take a concept that you try to explain. 3 minutes, I believe, is way too long for even for Dailymotion. Let's say 1 minute. You have 1 minute where you explain, you use graphics, things very easy to understand, and those kind of formats that you can actually buzz, share very easily. I take it, I share it. The sharing is key here, because what you're going to be watching is not necessarily what you are planning to watch, but what people, friends are recommending on YouTube, or on Facebook, that you should be watching. Okay, so sharing of that is very important. And one of the key thing I'd like also to highlight is that the impact on the flow of information also. And one of the things we use at France Médias Monde is this image where if an event occurs somewhere in the world, it's going to be happening first on Twitter somewhere. Okay. And then there might be an alert on your mobile, okay, saying, this event occurred. Then a website, the information is going to be on the website, time it takes to take the information, write an article, whatsoever. Then it's going to be most likely on the radio, and then on TV. And when you make an analysis, you see that the TV media is actually very often will be the last one to have the news. So you're no longer breaking the news as the media used to be, You are actually analyzing that information, but knowing that it has already been spread in the world, there's already been comments, and feedbacks and so on. So that makes the journalist that's going to be telling about that story give it a different angle, add value. And this is very interesting because it's complementary to social networks. And then we see media as adding value and not competing with the social networks. Okay? Because there is always that deal, there is the social networks and they are the media, and media have the truth, and social networks are saying bullshit. The thing is, it's not, that as a media, we can actually use the strength of the social network to bring our value, which is, checking the facts and saying what's true and so on and so on. Investigate and bring the value of the brand onto those platforms.
I think certainly that partnership between media and social networks is very interesting. It's something that media as an industry has had to deal with as part of its transformation. And in fact, the stronger that partnership can become, I think that's how they're leveraging moving forwards into the future.
Yeah, because if I may add something, one of the things that's changed also on the landscape is the number of competitors. I mean, there used to be only the media players, and now you have, I would say Facebook, you have YouTube, you have, Dailymotion, Google, Apple, and so on are playing, some kind of media role also. So that, that makes it a little bit more complex also.
Certainly, especially when everyone has a camera in their pocket and is a journalist.
Yeah, you can use Periscope. I'm sure maybe someone is using Periscope here to broadcast live, what we are saying. So.
Would you like to add something, Elisabeth?
Yes, we didn't talk. Alba was saying that young audience is going on the internet, and they have to be very short on what they do, as opposed to TV broadcasters bring high quality, long form content. So I think when you want to watch TV, you sit down and you spend some time, as opposed to an individual way of watching a content on the internet. It's either on your smartphone or a tablet, and it's going to be short formats as opposed to what we offer on TV. So it's not the two way of consuming content is not opposed. They are nourishing themselves, I think.
Yeah, I think that goes directly back to what Claire was telling us earlier in terms of the SVOD is not cannibalizing the TV industry. It's actually a complement to it. And it speaks to the fact that we are consuming on so many different platforms and so many different times throughout the day. Also, I think we're all used to capturing quick bites of news and information maybe in the morning, whereas in the evening where our pace is slower, that's when we're going to sit down and consume those longer news programs or maybe the movies and our favorite television series.
It's all about what you define as being the TV, actually. Maybe we should have started with this at the beginning, because if you think that TV is the TV set, it's of course not going to be playing the same role. If you think TV is the content, the way you're producing content, it's another story. You could be doing TV on a mobile, So that may be why we disagree.
You won't watch the same content on
You won't
your
watch
mobile.
the same content, but it could be TV still.
That's TV right now. And that's what's very interesting about it. It's that all these new technologies is increasing the number of people you can touch with your content. Reach, sorry. It's getting global, and you have a branding issue that you need to be very good at branding your content.
Yeah, because that's one of the issues we have is when you're on your TV, you're on your world, you're on your channel, it's your brand, people know you where they are. If you're on, on other platforms, let's say you're on Facebook, you are just one content among others. So how do you push your brand, That's becoming a challenge for us.
Certainly. Well, the title of this session is The Future of Television. And I'd like you all now to cast your minds forward, not too far because it's very difficult to predict what technology will do for us, but maybe just 5 years to 2020, and to share with us your dreams, your visions, your ideas of what the future of television may be. And I think, as Frederic just said, television is not just the box or the screen on which we're viewing, also the content. What are your thoughts, please, Alba?
I think television will be definitely more user-centric in terms of user experience. It will be user experience driven, sorry. When you go on a replay platform, for instance, and you want to watch 4 episodes of a series, and it's an example, and you want to watch 4 episodes on a series, and they are not chronological, it's hard to understand from a consumer perspective. We know as professionals that it's because of rights issues, but from a user experience perspective, it's complicated. So I think it will be user-centric, user experience-driven. I think it will be highly qualitative and exclusive. The key is content, as you were saying, Elisabeth, and I think you will find more and more qualitative content on TV as opposed to what you can observe on free video platforms such as Dailymotion or YouTube. And I think it will be technologic also. I'm very curious about what will immersive technology bring to our experience. What will it bring to fiction? Will we be watching House of Cards from one of the bedroom of the I forgot the name of the main character, of course, voilà, Frank Wood. Thank you.
I don't watch TV.
Good for you. So, will it be? Will we be interacting with the characters? Will we be influencing the fiction? This is very exciting. So that's it for me. Yeah.
Certainly, maybe the next step of reality TV, where we get to influence the scripts, could be very exciting. Frederic, the future of television.
I will be a millionaire if I could tell you what the future will be. No, maybe the key thing will be like, so first I believe, the TV as a TV screen, the TV set, will be really where people watch like concerts, big events like games, where you need to lay down high quality. But then for information, for news, you can bet that it's not going to, it's going to be less on that TV screen. Now the thing, it will be the continuity of the user experience between all those devices. The thing is, today there are silos to some extent. So if I am on my mobile, I'm on my mobile, then my PC, then my screen. So maybe something where if I start an experience, watching something on TV, then I switch to my mobile, then I can watch, the next episode, or I stop watching on the TV, then I go on my mobile, then I go on my PC. I've got that continuity of experience on my content. This is something that people have been dreaming about for years. It's still not a reality yet, but maybe it will be.
Claire, what about yourself?
I also share the view that TV will survive by being customized, premium, and global, and interactive. And big data will also be part of it, and it will enable advertisers to really gain back their customers. And for example, I think in the near future we will be able to, you will be able to, while watching a movie, to just find out more about, let's say, a pair of shoes that the star is wearing, and find out. And even if you won't, find out what brand it is, how much it costs, and also just press a button and purchase it, and having it delivered to your house in a few hours. So that's the future of television.
I like very much that idea personally, not so much from the shopping element, but maybe if I see someone in one of those cooking programs, they're preparing a wonderful meal, that I could just press and have that delivered to my table. That's my dream personally. Elisabeth.
Well, I think that the future of television is that we need to still have very high quality, premium, exclusive content. And also television brings the together, what I can call the together experience. And the together experience is that watching a content with friends, with family, and speaking together about this content. This is what I call the social link. And as long as TV brings that, I'm sure the future is going to be very long.
Frederic, I see you smiling. You have something to add.
What I say is that actually, yes, the social, the TV used to be a social link. Kind of lost that effect. And now, thanks to social networks, which for me is not TV actually, it's bringing back the social aspect of TV. But is it TV?
Yes, because they speak a lot about TV content on social networks also. Okay. Not you, probably.
So it really depends what we call TV, But at the end of the day, like we say, what matters the most is content. Let's not forget that content is first, and like you said, content is the future of TV.
Wonderful, thank you. We do have some time left, so I'd like now to turn to you, the audience, and please do share with us your questions, but also if you have any thoughts or dreams or ideas as to what the future of television may be for you. So maybe if we can have the house lights up a little, and if there is anyone that would like to ask a question to any of our panel or share their idea of what the future of television, their dream may be. Not seeing any hands, but then I don't really see you very well right now. So stand up if there is anyone there.
I guess they don't watch TV either.
Okay, so let's have a quick show of hands. How many people in here today have watched a regular, let's say, old-fashioned television? I know we've been at this conference, so maybe not had the event. There's one or two going up. Yeah, come on. Okay. How many of you have watched a television or video on a mobile screen today, be it your telephone? Yeah, okay. How many of you actually generate content? Yes. They're at the front. Okay. And So when you look forward to the future of television, would like to share your views or ideas as to what the future may be, what you'd love to see. You have some of the people shaping the industry here. So we have a question down here at the front.
Thank you. For me, what's happening right now, and for my personal case also, is that you now have the choice to decide when you want to watch things. And that's a big news. When I'm 35 now, but when I was a teenager, I was, the TV was in front of my parents, so I needed to ask permission, etc. Now this is not happening. You can watch everything when you want it, legally or illegally, let's face it. And for me, the media industry needs to respond to that, because for me there's no really connection between the appliance anymore, the TV set or any tablet or whatever, because it will change. We don't know what device we'll be using in a few years or 10 years. So for me it's all about the content, and I want to understand how the industry is going to be organized around that, because for me the old model was that you had production companies that were selling content to the TV medias. How are we going to adapt to that? Are we saying that the old TV medias, like your channel, for example, will disappear with time, and we will only focus with the production companies that will directly broadcast in different media contents, I guess, whether it will be Facebook or YouTube or whatever we will know in a few years? Or are we saying that these companies, these industries are going to understand that now what's important is the content, and they are going to be increasing their content production and not outsourcing to production companies anymore?
Thank you. Who would like to?
I think you are asking the question of distribution, because there are three different métiers. You have the way of producing a content, and then you have people who are broadcasters who choose this content, know how to address an audience, and to give strength to the content brand. See what I mean? And if you don't have distribution, you will never reach an audience. See? And if I think that our goal is to be able to choose the content and then target the right audience and be very strong on our branding. So, for instance, each channel that we have should have a very strong editorial positioning. So I know I will watch this brand or this brand and this brand because I will find on this brand content that I like, and that is targeted to me.
Just to because it's an interesting discussion. So I really this is interesting for me because I didn't think about that. It's about how do I know about a TV series that is new, that is coming out? How do I know about it? It's because media talk about it, because I read about it in a magazine, or all my friends talking about it. And it's interesting because what you're saying is that the TV channels need to have a very strong brand and a very strong editorial choice, yes, so that they remain interesting for me to say, okay, yes, this is selected by TF1 or Canal+, this is corresponding to my personality.
The strength of your brand, which is very important for us for future.
I think people still want to see content editorialized and conceptualized for them. If you look at Dailymotion or YouTube, for instance, we have more and more performing algorithms that are going to suggest customized recommendation, but still, the diversity of content can be overwhelming. So sometimes, I'm not saying, again, I really think we are talking about complementary experiences. So yes, you will come online most of the time when you know exactly when you see, and you go, most of the traffic on video platform is driven by search engine. So people at the beginning at least know what they are looking for. TV is a bit different for me. I think, for instance, if you want to watch a good documentary, you're going to go on Arte and you know exactly what kind of thing they're going to bring to you. If you want to watch a series, you're going to go on TF1 or Canal+, because you know exactly the kind of series they're going to bring to you. I think people still need to have editorial filters, and that's the reason why also you can see, I'm not an expert of the US market, but I think what is working is also niche TV channel, niche is maybe not the word, but you go on a sport channel, you subscribe to a series channel, so HBO, you subscribe to a news channel, you subscribe to maybe more customized offer, but in the end what you're looking is for someone to do the editorial filter for you. And you will consume this in complement to other online sources where you are more owner of your research and you are more proactive in what you want to watch.
I have a question. Here we're talking about content, we're talking about channels, etc., etc. But as a mother, I have teenagers at home, and what I see is that what they watch, in fact, is they watch videos on YouTube. I have no idea what they're watching. I really don't know what it is that they're watching, and I have no idea why they choose the videos that they choose. I mean, what do you say about that? Because it seems to me that it's not, I don't even know who produces those videos, you know? What do you say about this? And is it still television? What is it, you know?
Frederic, would you like to?
You know, there are a lot of YouTubers, you know, which are very, very successful on YouTube and have millions of fans and will never go onto a regular TV. But that's the you know, they hear about it on social networks or on their Facebook. So this is a completely different, how do you say that, distribution channel than the traditional TV, you know, of course. And one of the things is for the TV channels to actually play a role here, actually to bring their brand onto this and give you the security you want. And you say, you know, if it's TF1 or whatever, you know, it's branded TF1, you know what to expect. Okay, today, of course, you know, it's not the case, but there is a big role to be played by like Canal Plus is doing on YouTube actually, and you know, and other channels should be in the world doing this, you know, going on YouTube, and they are doing it. So I would expect that in a few years you will see the big TV brands being very strong on YouTube. I bet it.
Certainly, those brands, with those brands come the trust, and I think that's what your question is coming back to. How do you trust the sources? How do you know what's being produced and published? How do you know the origin?
You have to watch it.
Yeah.
There's a survey that says that people, I'm a fan of surveys, that people are trusting more YouTubers than stars on recommendation for purchases. So YouTubers play a great role in
well, that's maybe why your children are watching. I think we have time for one more quick question.
Thank you. My question is, I never watch iPad or even Apple TV that much. I'm paying for Netflix, I'm paying for OCS in France, but I don't watch broadcast anymore. And still I have to pay, like everyone, the TV license. And I feel that it's very unfair because it doesn't, I don't want to pay for radio, but I have to because I don't watch TV anymore. What kind of...
Right to the president, maybe.
There is a minister around, I will ask her, but yes. The question is the future of television. As you said, that there will be more than 50 million people paying for television in the next months. How can institutions and governments and people that are paying the television change that also? Because you are from the private sector, nearly?
No.
I think in the end it's not, and for it's personal, I have no real idea of what's going to happen, but I don't think we're going to, I think yes, in the end, maybe you will be able to, I mean, there will be some granularity into the different things that you need to pay for, but I think it's rather the other way around. I think today the over-the-top providers are being observed, and I think rather than seeing less people pay for the TV, we will see more people pay for the OTT boxes at home. Sorry if I'm not clear, but if you see what I mean today, I don't have a TV, but I do watch TV on my computer screen, and I don't pay for that. And in the end, I should. You know, there's no reason why I agree with that. But it's new, so it's not in the legislation. So I think people will not be watching what to do to address the fact that we should not pay TV. Government are going to address the fact that people are not paying while watching TV on other devices. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's everywhere in the world, you pay fees actually as a citizen for the publicly owned media, whether it's radio or TV. And the way it's working in France today is that you pay it only if you have a TV set, or the way it's going to be, the direction it's taking all over the world is actually whether or not you have a TV. What matters, you will be paying because you could be watching that same content actually on any screen now. Okay. So the direction he's taking is that actually everybody at the end, will most likely be paying, and you should be, because this is my salary. So
that's actually, I think, we were talking amongst us just before this. We realised that we had an awful lot to say about many topics, and in fact, one we've not managed really to touch on too much has been what is the future business model of television, and I think that would be a lovely segue into that discussion. Unfortunately, we don't have time for that today, but hopefully next year at Women's Forum, maybe. I'd like to thank you all for joining us for this debate on the future of television, and in particular, thank all of my panelists here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.